everyone, it's Nicole.
And Jen.
We're here doing a book discussion video.
That we said we were going to do like 3
Eons
months
ago.
February. Because that's when
Yeah.
we finished this one.
Yeah.
And then we finished this one. And then we were too heartbroken to talk about it.
Yeah, it was pretty rough after the final book. If you can't see it, we're talking about the Mistborn Trilogy.
By Brandon Sanderson.
Okay, I think we should just start with book 1 and then just move down, talk a little bit about each book. I mean, I don't want this video to be an hour long, but who knows?
It could be.
We'll try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. If we go into spoiler territories, one of us will shout it. I'll hold the book up until we are done talking about the spoilers, because if you don't want to be spoiled, when I'm holding the book up, don't
talk.
Mute it or, fast forward it until I'm not holding the book anymore. I know, the title, it says Mistborn up here. This is actually the Mistborn series. The first book is actually called The Final Empire.
Oh, that's right.
And I don't know why they changed it just for this edition, but a lot of the other editions...
The Final Empire.
Yeah, the first book is called The Final Empire. So, the first thing I'm going to start off is I'm just going to read the back synopsis, because that is just something that everyone, when they pick up a book, they read. So, on the back, it says, "The Mists rule the night. The Lord Ruler owns the world. Once a hero arose to save the world, a young man with a mysterious heritage courageously challenged the darkness that strangled the land. He failed. Dun, dun, dun. For 1,000 years since, the world has been a wasteland of ash and mist ruled by the immortal emperor known as the Lord Ruler. Every revolt has failed miserably. Yet somehow hope survives, hope that dares to dream of ending the empire and even the Lord Ruler himself. A new kind of uprising is being planned, one built around the ultimate caper, one that depends on the cunning of a brilliant criminal mastermind and the determination of an unlikely heroine, a street urchin who must learn to master allomancy, the power of a Mistborn."
What I love is that I was not expecting to like this book at all. I was just like, ugh, I'll read it for book club and I'll have opinions. And I devoured it. And I was like, opinions are everywhere! I need to read the next one now!
I knew I would like the book because it's a genre that I typically reach for. It's fantasy. I do reach for that genre. This first book, you meet all the characters, right?
You do.
The two main characters in this book, the one that the story is mostly revolving around.
Okay, then that would be Kelsier.
That would be Kelsier
Vin.
and Vin. I think this was a really great start.
Oh yeah.
It's not like, the debut book of a series, it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of slow because they're telling the story, they're introducing the characters, but this, kicks off.
You.
Yeah, the way this kicks off is it's amazing. And Kelsier is a fantastic character. Vin is a great character. Even through just one book, not just necessarily the entire series, there's great character development, especially on Vin's part, because she takes everything in such great stride.
Kelsier is the teacher.
Yes.
And Vin is the student.
The thing I like about Kelsier is, there's so many layers to him. Obviously, he's very sarcastic. He's very reckless.
Oh, yeah.
But when you learn the reasoning behind
everything.
Yeah, the reason why he's doing this. Why now did he decide to work so hard to hone his Mistborn abilities to finally go after the Lord Ruler and save the Empire? It's just so deep and so beautiful that I wasn't expecting that because of the front that he puts up.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a great teacher, great father figure to Vin, and learning his patience with her is really great too. The power that he has in speech giving and to just
bring them all
arouse
together.
people to his common goal and just encourage people is just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Lord Ruler is immortal. He has lived for 1,000 years, and like it said in the back, all rebel causes or uprisings have failed. And so
it's like, how do you get
if you know that history? Yeah, it's like, how is this hope still alive? And it's because of Kelsier. He's such a great leader, and you just you fall in love with him. He's an amazing character.
There's allomancers who have one power you can use,
you can manipulate one metal.
Yeah, you can manipulate one metal, and then if you're a Mistborn, you can manipulate all of them.
All the metals. And how you manipulate them is they ingest the metals, flakes of the metals in like this solution, and you can burn it in your body.
When the book starts out, she doesn't know what she has.
Yeah.
She's aware of it, but she doesn't have a word for it.
She knows that she thinks she can manipulate luck, so she's with this band of thieves, basically, and she is always around because she can manipulate luck. So, and that's what she calls it. That's what she's known it by. She doesn't know that it's allomancy. She doesn't even know,
Because isn't she getting it from, like, the metals in the water?
Yes.
So it's just, like, a natural
she's
thing
like
that
very
she has
trace
no clue.
amount. Yeah, it's not like she's ingesting the metals. Well, I guess that's...
Eventually she does ingest them, and that's how she can kind of learn from each of them.
She then learns from Kelsier that what she has is, like, she's
a Mistborn. I didn't see there being any romance, and I think I was in a mood where I was like, I would like some romance, and there was.
There was some romance, yeah.
Vin and Ellen, he goes to balls with a book and reads.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I would go after Ellen so hardcore because I'm like, he's a reader, okay, but he's just
like, that
different.
Is me. That is me.
Yeah, I love how much Kelsier grows in the first book.
Yeah, I think there's a spoiler that we're gonna have to give away to continue on to the second and third books, because there's going to be a character that we no longer talk about.
And it's going to become very obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
So, here we go. Spoiler
alert.
If you do not want to know the end of this book, please stop watching. And read the whole series.
And then come back.
Or actually read this book, and then you can come back. Kelsier does not have a fortunate end at the end of this book.
No.
He dies. And
he kind of becomes like the martyr for
and it was so shocking too.
It was very shocking because you knew like he's the leader of this entire thing.
Yeah,
you would think he would make it to the end,
and
not die in the first book.
Sudden too. What happened? Vin, the student, falls in love with Ellen, who is he's a prince, right?
He's a lord. A lord that they're trying to get in like the family with to rule. Yeah.
And so Kelsier hates all royalty, anything, everything,
all the lords, all the like higher up.
When Vin caught Ellen's eye, he was just like, no, you can't do that. That's awful. Like, he's gonna ruin you. It's gonna be end of times. Awful. So the way that he dies is he gets caught saving Ellen, right? Saving Ellen because there was like a huge uprising in the town square. Yeah.
The Lord Ruler finally comes out to kind of put an end to the uprising that, is Kelsier, and he gets stabbed in the chest. Yeah. And I was like, good. And you want to have hope, like, oh, he can come back from that. That's fine. There's a moment where you think he does, but there's
he doesn't.
And he doesn't.
So when he gets stabbed, he's not coming back. Don't have too much hope because I was like elated and then I was like distraught all over again.
Yeah, it's really.
But yeah, he changed because Vin was so convinced that Ellen was not like other royalty, and he's really not.
And that kind of just shows like his character growth too, is because he was just so like bigoted against like lords in the higher class, it was, and just to die saving one of them for Vin really just shows his growth in character development, and I really enjoyed that.
And I think it also, because in like later books the crew didn't really take on to Ellen very quickly, but it became evident that the reason why I think they started accepting Ellen was because they found out that he died specifically to save him. He knew he was worth saving, so I think that was really kind of powerful message at the end of this book. Vin miraculously takes power from the mists and kills the Lord Ruler, who was up until that point immortal.
Yes. That's how that book ends. So yeah, that's book 1.
So for those of you that have put pause or mute because we put the book down,
you can now come back.
You can come back, or if you want to hear about the other books, it will include the spoiler that we just talked about. So either don't watch until you've read the first book, or proceed at your own risk.
Right. If you don't mind being spoiled. Book 2 in the Mistborn series is Well of Ascension.
Okay, we can put this down. It's not a spoiler.
And I feel like it kind of picks picks up right away. I guess this could be a spoiler because I'm going to read the back for the synopsis for book 2. Evil has been defeated. The war has just begun. They did the impossible, deposing the godlike being whose brutal rule had lasted 1,000 years. Now Vin, the street urchin who has grown into the most powerful Mistborn in the land, and Ellen Venture, the idealistic young nobleman who loves her, must build a healthy new society in the ashes of an empire. They have barely begun when 3 separate armies attack. As the siege tightens, an ancient legend seems to offer a glimmer of hope, but even if it really exists, no one knows where to find the Well of Ascension, or what manner of power it bestows. It may just be that killing the Lord Ruler was the easy part. Surviving the aftermath of his fall is going to be the real challenge.
That's a true story.
What I did like about this book is, I mean, it happens in all the books, but there are like little blurbs up here at the beginning of the chapter that at first don't make sense, but as you get towards the end of the book, it all kind of wraps up the story and what they're trying to learn about the Well of Ascension.
Yes. This book, I feel like it was long and it was good, but it was like the
longest of the
same thing
series.
happening. But it was like, even though the same thing is happening, like it was so well written that it didn't bother me. Like sometimes if something is repeated too many times, or if you go back to different thing but told like slightly different way, I'm just like, okay, this is repetitive. Can we move on? But like it all made sense. Like there were politics in it. Like different things made different sense.
I think this book was definitely more political
Yes.
because in the last book they kill the Lord Ruler, so obviously they have to push someone up to that, not that level like the Lord Ruler, but to rule an empire, because
you have to have a ruler.
they have to have a ruler.
They've had a ruler for 1,000 years.
Yeah, they need someone. They need that hierarchy. Well, they elect or they put Ellen in charge. It's him trying to
give people their freedom.
Fix what was wrong with the empire when the Lord Ruler was commanding, and then also protect the land as well, because
of the 3 armies.
word has spread that the Lord Ruler is dead.
Well, that, and then there was an atium stash. So atium is a type of
trying
metal.
to find it.
And if you have that and you're a Mistborn, you can burn that, and literally you're pretty much invincible because
you can see the future or possibilities of the future.
So like if you had, so say if you burned atium and you were going to hit me, I would know exactly how she's going to hit me, and I could plan for it, stop it, or I could hit her. But if she was burning atium, it kind of puts us on an even playing field. So the goal is to get all of the atium. So the theory is that was, all the atium was in this city, so a bunch of armies are going there to get the stash, because if you own the stash, you're
because it's
invincible.
it's very powerful, and also it's worth a lot of money.
Fortunes.
Yeah. So if you control that, you control the empire basically. And Ellen is trying his darndest. I tell you, is to protect everybody, give everybody what they want. Also trying to be a ruler, because obviously he's never done that before. He's more of a bookworm. He wants to stay kind of in the shadows and read and do his own thing, and he's not comfortable ruling. He's not comfortable with that level of authority. He doesn't know how to handle it. So when it comes time to make the big decisions, there are times where he stumbles. And
all of us would.
I mean, putting in that new position, but sometimes it's to the detriment of the empire. And he feels like he's not the right person for the job. A lot of other people think that too, and so there are uprisings again, and other people want to be king, and everyone's in danger. And so this book is very political, and with a little bit of sprinkle, they're trying to find the Well of Ascension.
Sprinkle with a smidge of a maybe love triangle.
Well, I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah,
so
it's complicated. As Facebook would say.
Yes, exactly.
But it's really good.
Ellen and Vin love each other, and you just you wouldn't think that they would work out, because
they're different.
They're so different. But they balance each other out, I guess.
They do. And I love that about them, how well they balance, especially in the 3rd book more than this book, is that they finally...
I feel like this the entirety of this book, I'm just like, how are they even working out at this point?
Yeah, they
How
do not
are they
communicate
even together? They don't communicate at all.
Oh my gosh. What was the thing that we were talking about where we're just like, just say words to the other person?
Just talk to each other.
Oh
like,
gosh.
seriously, they
terrible.
don't.
They would have issues and they would
Keeping
talk about it
secrets
internally.
from each other.
And I was like, if you
God.
would just say how you feel to the person sitting in front of you,
You wouldn't
all
have
of this
all
would
this
be-
problem.
all
All
this
these
would be
problems.
solved.
It's ridiculous.
So relationship advice, just say what's on your mind.
This whole book is them trying to find the Well of Ascension because there is a power
Within.
within it that they want to unleash,
Kind of, or like
Kind of.
take possession
take
of.
possession of, to get.
To be able to get rid of the mists.
Yeah. Like, even though they killed the Lord Ruler, there are still the mists that are plaguing the land, and they're saying, like, there are legends. The legends that come to life is, like, the power that's in the Well of Ascension that was actually supposed to be the Lord Ruler. That's how it comes about in the book. So they're thinking, well, if Ellen's thinking, like, well, if I can't be king, we have to find this powerful being that's in the Well of Ascension, and they can help us rule
Heal it and
heal everything.
Then I'll be a good ruler.
And then the empire will be thriving.
So they find it, and shit hits the fan.
They find the Well of Ascension, and turns out that all the clues that have been leading them to the Well of Ascension is saying that this power is actually the power that was supposed to be.
It's a bad power.
It's a bad
lie.
power.
He
It's
lied
all,
to us.
It's all the things that they read about that they thought were true were actually
The
lies.
top things.
Yes.
They were all lies.
They were all lies created by this powerful being so someone could find him and release him. And they find out too late.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So
it's really cool though, because it's like if anything is written down, he knows and can change it, and it's just like that's nifty.
Yes.
Unless if it's what is it, stamped into metal?
yeah, if it's etched into metal, he can't read it for some reason.
Yeah, he can't read it or change it. So that's probably why a lot of shit hit the fan, is because they had made a sketch of this design, and because it was a sketch of a metal etching, it wasn't the metal etching itself, they were able to, or Ruin, as they call it, was able to modify some verbiage that was key.
Yes.
Then comes this bitch.
Third book in this series is called Hero of Ages. It is the final book in the Mistborn Trilogy.
So killing the Lord Ruler to end the final empire was obviously the right thing to do, wasn't it? With the return of the lethal form of the ubiquitous mists, increasingly heavy ashfall, and ever more powerful earthquakes, Vin and Elend are no longer so sure. Long ago, Ruin, one of the primal beings who created the world, was promised the eventual right to destroy all things. Now that Vin has been tricked into releasing him from the Well of Ascension, Ruin apparently intends to collect. The conclusion of the Mistborn Trilogy fulfills the promise of the first two books. Revelations abound, connections rooted in early chapters of the series click into place, and surprises as satisfying as they are stunning blossom like fireworks to dazzle and delight. It all leads up to a finale unmatched for originality and audacity that will leave you rubbing your eyes in wonder as if awakening from an amazing dream. I wouldn't say it was an amazing dream when I first read it, because I was pissed!
Yeah.
You'll have to read the whole trilogy to know exactly why.
Yeah, why?
Because I'm not giving that one away. That one...
You're going to find out. You're just going to find out, and you're going to be shocked and awed, and you can comment below about all the things that happen in this book that make you...
Me and her were on the same book club. We have 40 pages left. And so we're like, let's just sit in the car and listen to the audiobook. It was great. Great until something major happened, and then we actually had to stop, pick up the book, and be like, wait, did we read
hear that?
Did that happen?
That just happened, and it did.
And it did.
It did happen.
So when you read it and you're like, no, yes.
Yes, it happened.
Unfortunately,
Let me tell you, shit hits the fan on a massive level.
And it's awesome.
And
but it's awful.
This book is an amazing conclusion.
Oh, yeah.
It is so good.
Oh, yeah.
And I've said this, like, it ended the way it only possibly could have ended.
It could have ended a different way, but, you know.
I don't think so. I think it's, I mean,
yes, I understand what you're saying, but there are things that happen that I'm not okay with.
plot twists abound in this book, and it's shit that you don't see coming.
Oh, yeah.
Usually I can be like, I spot this plot twist a mile away. This book, it was happening and I didn't even believe it. And
it was happening. I was like, yeah. Wait, what? No. You go back a couple pages, reread it again. And you still don't believe it.
There are some parts of this book where I had to reread because I'm like, that did not just happen. But it did. And there were several times where I had to pick my jaw up off the floor. I mean,
Brandon, I wanted to throw this across the floor.
Brandon Sanderson tells an amazing story.
Oh,
and he ends this amazing story so well.
Mm-hmm.
And it is beautifully written. It is bittersweet. And it's just an amazing ending. I really, really enjoyed this series as a whole.
I'm a little peeved that it continues. There's more to the Mistborn. So this is the main trilogy.
Yeah, the main trilogy. And then there are another series that kind of happens
in the future.
Like hundreds of years in the future.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by it, but at the same time, I'm just like, I want to read it, but I don't because I like where it ended.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this book series is just amazing. If you love fantasy and you haven't read this book,
read it.
Just
Why?
read it.
Why haven't you read it? Why?
Read it. It's so amazing. It's right up your alley if you love fantasy. If you don't particularly like fantasy,
read it anyways.
I would say pick it up and read it because I think this is actually a really great way if you want to break into fantasy. This is a great series to start with. Mm-hmm. Even though they are kind of daunting, but seriously, like, because they're
huge. The audiobook was fantastic as well.
Yeah, so the narrator was really amazing.
If you're not a big fan of like big books, sorry, I can't fathom that. But yeah, the audiobook was fantastic. I loved
the narrator was amazing. And
you have to pay attention though.
A lot of things happen. You have to pay attention.
I would say for the first good chunk of book number 1, either read it so you can understand who people are.
Yes. There are a lot of characters, especially in their band of, misfits.
And you're going to get them all confused.
Very powerful female character.
She don't need no man.
It's great. She's amazing. She is a really strong character. And Ellen reads books. I love Ellen. Ellen reads books.
And he grew...
Oh, his character development over the series. Oh,
yeah, because you first meet him and
when you first meet him, you're like, oh my gosh, I relate to Ellen in the first book because hell yeah, I bring books to parties and I read in the corner and don't bother me. And
he's very naive in the first book,
but he becomes
he's forced to become better, and then he
becomes a ruler.
Oh yeah, and he continues to grow.
Yes.
Through the series, and that's what I love about all the characters. I don't feel like any of them were one person in the first book and then continued that way throughout the series. I mean, maybe a little bit, but there was always enough character development where you're like, okay, well, that character was never flat.
I feel and also some books are either character driven or plot driven. I feel like this book is both.
Oh, heavily agree. Heavily.
I think I rated every single one of these books 5 stars. Amazing.
5-star series.
It is a 5-star series.
It's a long
I don't think I am particularly inclined to continue with the other books. I want to, but not yet.
Immediately.
Not yet.
I was in you a book hangover like nobody's business.
After this, I was in such a reading slump because I was just still living in this world. I didn't want to leave it, and nothing I picked up and read after that, nothing could compare to what I had just read and experienced and felt. It makes you feel all the feels, and
all the feels.
It's one of those books that even after you put it down, you're just thinking about it
all the time.
All the time. If you have read this book series, please comment below. We'd love to discuss with you, and it's just amazing. It's really great.
If you have any other suggestions, let us know.
Yeah,
maybe.
Have you read the other books? That are set in the future.
Ones,
So do you recommend those? Yeah, the first one is The Law of Alloway or something like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely, we would love to discuss this book with you. So like I said, comment below. If you like our video, please give it a big thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Goodreads, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. I'll see you next time, avid readers.
Bye, guys.
I
got it right!
That was a great high five.
It was.
Shit!
Felt it in my toes. Do you want me to start over?
Yeah.
And then just cut it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna edit the shit out of this, apparently.
Was obviously, oh my god. Okay.
Want me to do it?
Take 3. No, I'm gonna try and do this one more time, and then it's all you.
Okay.